Hi, this is Sue Schmidt again with Equipping for eMinistry, and I'm glad I'm getting to do this particular post today. I've wanted to do it for some time, and it makes it so much easier now that I'm using Screencast-O-Matic because you can actually see what I'm talking about instead of me trying to write each step out. Plus, I'm using Office 2007, Windows 2007. And you may be using something else, so perhaps if you see how I do it with this software and this hardware, maybe you can adapt it to what you're using, hopefully. So I do hope that this is a good way to go about showing you what I learned. So about 3 years ago, I was printing on our printer cardstock Christmas cards, and the pen and ink sketch for the cover of it was black and white. And after I printed quite a few, I noticed that the color it looked different. It looked more faded. And that was the day that I learned that when you're printing with black ink, it's also using color. And that was an aha moment for me, because I did wonder why I was using so much color ink cartridges when I really didn't do that much color printing. I often use my printer just for rough drafts, and I don't even want color at all. Maybe a rough draft of our prayer letter before it's ready. And I was using color ink much faster than I wanted to. So let's look into why this is. So I'm in Word right now. I go up to do a print. And over here in Properties, this is the default setting for my printer, general everyday printing. And so I don't want to do that. I don't need a lot of ink. I'm doing a rough draft, so I go down here to fast economical printing. And right now it's set to black and white, so you might click OK and think you're good to go. But let's take a look at color. You can do a fast economical color, so it'll use less ink all around. But for me, I often print in grayscale. But what I realized is this right here, high quality. Anytime you're doing grayscale or black and white with high quality, that means it is using the color ink to make the black a richer black. Look at that, black ink only. As it happens, I often do spreadsheets, and so this is my most common format there. I can save it as ink saver. Okay. So that is my new shortcut that I have, which is black ink only. And you can do either those. Okay. That's a new feature. And now we are going to go into the printer itself to make this our default. It doesn't have to be. If you often do photos, maybe you want photo printing to be your default, or maybe you're just happy with general everyday printing. So if you're happy with general everyday printing for what you normally do, you don't need this next part. But if you want to use ink saver or photo printing, or some other thing to change as the most common way you use your printer, then we'll go to the next step. So I go to Control Panel. Hardware and Sound is where you'll find printers. That's my printer. Right click. Okay, the current default is General Everyday Printing for the printer. I want to now make it ink saver. Here's where you can delete it, of course, if you don't want to use it anymore. That's also in Word. Anyway, this is my new one. I'm going to apply it. That's all it is. This is now what my printer will use by default. So I'm going to create a new one just to make sure. So now let's see what happens. Print. it went to ink saver as a default. So if you know what your default is, you could have this little feature. This is the toolbar. I have to put quick print and print preview. I want to have those there. So I could just click quick print here with this little toolbar and print it, just knowing that it's going to use my ink saver feature. So I hope this was helpful. I saved a lot of money on my color ink here the last couple years, and I've been meaning to tell you about this because you might be using color ink when you think you're just printing with black. So I hope this is understandable and helpful to you. Thanks for watching.